Hello everyone, thank you for joining our webinar today. I am Ishwar, a product expert at Analytics Plus, Manage Engine's flagship IT analytics solution. And I am excited to conduct this highly anticipated and informative session for you. As you already know, today we'll be discussing proven strategies to elevate IT ops landscape with proactive monitoring and unified alerts. So before we begin, let me just list down a few housekeeping notes for the session. By default, all attendees will be on listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them in chat or drop them in the Q&A panel on the left side of your screen. I'll try my best to get to them towards the end of the session. In case we run short on time, I'll respond to your questions later via email. You're also welcome to email me your questions directly using the address that's shown on your screen. So with that out of the way, let's get started with the webinar. So in today's age of digital transformation, where technology dominates and time is money, IT teams cannot afford to wait for end-user reports to identify and address breakdowns and failures in their IT infrastructure. This reactive approach can cause resolution delays, resource wastage, and allow for unresolved problems to escalate, leading to poor user experiences and business disruptions. To keep pace with the ever-evolving end-user demands, organizations must shift from a reactive firefighting to a proactive monitoring strategy that anticipates and resolves issues before they impact critical systems and their businesses. So for this, powerful alerting capabilities are kind of central to this proactive IT approach. By consolidating operational data across the IT infrastructure into a single, coherent IT teams can configure alerts that detect anomalies, predict problems, and even implement timely remediations automatically. In this webinar, we will explore significance of proactive monitoring and unified alerts in transforming IT operations, enhancing reliability, and driving growth. We'll dive into 6 real-world examples to understand how these strategies can revolutionize IT management. So towards this, we will be first looking at how to prevent network traffic congestion through proactive monitoring. So if you happen to ask your employees this one question, which part of your organization's IT frustrates you most and impedes you from getting your daily work done? The clear frontrunner among the responses would be issues with network, which includes slow speeds, constant outages, and an overall unavailability. Network traffic congestion appears to be one of the most common causes of deteriorating enterprise network performance. Even in today's modern, technology-driven enterprise IT landscape, which has undergone numerous improvements over the years, the adverse effects of network traffic congestion continues to plague the employees as well as IT teams alike. More often than not, NOC teams become aware of the ongoing network congestion only when users report consistent connectivity problems and the NOC team is inundated with related incidents and service requests. Networks experience congestion when data traffic exceeds the available bandwidth or capacity. This excess traffic can lead to performance issues like sluggish networks, processing delays, and declining quality of service. By regularly monitoring network traffic, identifying early warning signs of potential congestion, addressing their root causes, you can optimize the stability and performance of your enterprise networks preemptively. With Analytics Plus, Manage Engine's flagship IT analytics tool, you can easily achieve this and much more in just a few steps. So now let's look at a couple of proven analytics powered approaches to thwart the impact of network congestion. So the first approach that we are going to look at is implementing real-time monitoring of key QoS indicators. Monitoring the quality of service or QoS indicators for all hardware and software components of the network, including routers, switches, firewalls, servers, databases, endpoint devices, and application, can provide valuable insights into the traffic flow and network congestion over time. So these matrices offer visibility into how effectively the network addresses the required service levels and helps NOC teams foresee and mitigate the impact of unplanned traffic spikes on network performance. The dashboard that's shown on your screen is built using Analytics Plus and offers a real-time view of key QoS metrics across multiple network components. By consolidating data from various application performance, network monitoring, and IT operations tools, the dashboard enables NOC teams to quickly identify and address network quality and performance issues. Continuous monitoring and analysis of critical QoS indicators such as latency, jitter, response times, packet loss, network interface utilization, retransmission frequency, and more, as shown in this dashboard, helps you ensure optimal network infrastructure performance. NOC teams can implement automated anomaly detection over these insights and configure alerts to catch QoS outliers accurately and effortlessly. This helps proactively detect and address QoS degradation. So, an alert-based monitoring done in such a way with the help of these vital performance metrics can help flag early signs of traffic spikes or network congestion, allowing IT teams to respond before the network fails or becomes unavailable. This approach also helps pinpoint the root cause contributing to network traffic spikes and network performance issues, ensuring immediate remediation of inefficiencies before they impact the network and cause network downtime. So this approach can help you prevent large-scale network or service interruptions during critical business hours. And with that, let's move on to the second approach for thwarting network traffic congestion, which is identifying and mitigating unwanted traffic flow. While the previous approach that we discussed can preemptively resolve the root causes of peak network traffic as well as prevent congestion, it actually fails to address all the potential sources of network traffic issues. In fact, in some cases, there is a more sinister cause behind unexpected traffic spikes, which is illegitimate and unwanted network traffic. These are non-human, system-generated traffic that enters a network with a variety of malicious or benign intent, such as data collection, performance monitoring, real-time tracking, and more. Typically known as bot traffic, these traffics flood the network and consume significant bandwidth, as well as deplete the resources, causing the network to become unresponsive to critical requests. And this can ultimately lead to network downtime. Proactively identifying and stopping bot traffic is extremely critical for maintaining performance and availability of networks, and more importantly, fortifying network security against malicious attacks. By leveraging AI-powered analytics, NOC teams can distinguish legitimate transactions or data traffic from system-generated bot traffic. Now let's go back to our Analytics Plus workspace and see how this can be achieved. This analysis examines the behavior of top 10 sources that contribute to high traffic on a virtual meeting application over a 24-hour period. Here we have assigned unique user IDs to every user signing up and accessing the application. This allows us to track the number of sessions launched by the same user. By applying basic user behavior patterns to these insights, we can distinguish between human and bot traffic. We can confidently assume that users who exhibit natural variations in session duration and request frequency are legitimate, while the sources that record high frequency of requests per hour or shorter session durations, as you can see, can be considered as bots as they deviate from the expected normal behavior. The visualization therefore identifies potential bot traffic that is causing network congestion and slowing down a peculiar application. The analysis enables NOC teams to easily distinguish genuine user traffic from bot traffic. This also allows them to proactively identify and safeguard the application against bot-driven traffic, which can ultimately lead to network congestion. Now let's move to the second strategy that we'll be discussing today. Having addressed the strategies that prevent network congestion and also safeguard networks against bot traffic, we will now shift our focus to an even more critical component of any organization's IT infrastructure, which is data. Organizations across the globe generate vast amounts of data from their day-to-day business operations. This data represents one of the most valuable assets that organizations possess today, making it a prime target for malicious actors. Consequently, data security has become a critical concern for IT teams across enterprises. Security breaches like data exfiltration can have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond the impacted team. These breaches can occur through various means within a corporate network. But regardless of the method, the consequences are the same, which includes loss of sensitive data, significant financial loss, and harm to the organization's credibility and reputation. Given the critical importance of data security, relying on user reports or notifications from security tools alone to discover breaches simply won't cut it. A proactive approach to monitoring and preventive management is therefore indispensable. And there are multiple methods like data encryption, patching, use of endpoint detection and response, that is EDR tools, and more to identify data breach and restrict the extent of data leakage. However, the simplest yet the most effective proactive approach is through continuous monitoring of data transfer rates from your database server. A sharp, uncharacteristic increase in data leaving your database servers is at any point is a clear sign that something is not right. By implementing an automated anomaly-based analysis of data transfer rates, you can detect and respond to potential data threats swiftly and effectively. So from this analysis, we can observe the data transfer rate in an enterprise IT environment over a 24-hour period. At a quick glance, there may be variations in the data transfer rate that seemingly point to a probable breach. However, with intuitive anomaly-based alerting capabilities, you can accurately identify these deviations without any manual efforts. So Analytics Plus intuitively analyzes this historical data, understand their historical patterns, and visually tags actual anomalous deviations in data transfer rates. This makes it very easy for IT teams to hone in on these alarming deviations. Now, I have been mentioning anomaly-based alerts in my session so far, so you might be curious to know how do I set up these anomaly-based alerts. It's a very quick, simple, and self-intuitive process. Let me quickly walk you through that. To set up anomaly-based alerts, let's first click on the alert icon on the top right corner of the visualization, and then select Create Alerts from the drop-down menu. This opens a dialog box where you can enter the alert details, starting with the alert name. Once you have entered the alert name, next step is to set condition for the alerts. We can choose to base the alerts on numerical values or thresholds or anomalies. Since we want to set up anomaly-based alerts here, let's go ahead and select based on anomalies. Once you've selected that, next step is to select the condition for the anomaly-based alerts. So here we choose the conditions, and then we move on to selecting the frequency for checking this condition and triggering the alerts. Since a monthly check fits our purpose, we'll choose monthly here. Once this is done, you can now choose to how you want to notify the selected set of users about a potential anomalous data flow. This can be done via various channels including emails, in-app notifications, Slack, Microsoft, and more. And now if you choose an email application, You just want to enter your ID and the potential subject and the message you want to give. Once you have given all the details, enter save to complete the setup. So configuring smart anomaly-based alerts in this visualization allows for effortless and vigilant monitoring of data transfer rates. It automatically triggers notifications to the concerned teams when deviation is detected in the organization's data transfer rate. This also helps you proactively detect similar deviations in data transfer patterns that signal a potential breach. But this is not just it. You can dig further into data breaches with a department or resource level analysis as shown here. This helps you identify which department or which is the site where exactly the breach is happening. And this in turn can help you accelerate the root cause identification and facilitates quick resolution. Monitoring data transmission rates can be a key strategy in your arsenal for proactively guarding against the ever-looming threat of data breaches. Both the analysis that we discussed so far offers valuable insights that can strengthen your IT security's defenses from potential data breaches and malicious actors. Alright, let's now move on to the third step in our strategy, which is minimizing service incident spikes by systematically analyzing change implementations. So in the two sections that we covered so far, we had talked about improving efficiency, reliability, and security of critical IT infrastructure components using unified alerts and proactive monitoring. Let's now turn our focus to enhancing standard operational procedures across the IT department. And for this, the logical first step would be to focus on streamlining IT change implementations. Change implementations are an inevitable part of an organization's ITSM landscape, whether it's updating software, patching vulnerabilities, or upgrading hardware. Both planned and unplanned changes are crucial for maintaining an efficient IT environment. Changes are often implemented either periodically to maintain the performance and security posture of your IT, or as part of organization-wide strategic initiatives, or most importantly, as an immediate response to a significant problem. However, major changes can often lead to corresponding spikes in incidents, and these incidents that result from unplanned or emergency changes are often dealt with reactively. But a more concerning trend that is observed recently across multiple global IT landscape is that despite having remediative damage control initiatives, the impact of change-related incidents often remains high, impacting the organizations from an operational as well as a financial standpoint. To address this issue, IT teams must implement proactive and targeted strategies that curb change-related incident volume. This can be accomplished by analyzing the types of changes being implemented and understanding the relationship with the incidents. By visualizing the monthly trend of incidents in an organization, we can easily analyze the number of incidents associated with each change type. The analysis that is shown on your screen reveals that over 75% of incident occurs as a direct result of change implementations. We can also observe that for some months that saw a significant drop in change-related incidents, it also experienced a comparatively fewer major overall incidents. However, a much more alarming takeaway is that during certain months, a high number of incidents are resulting from scheduled or periodic changes as compared to unscheduled or emergency ones. So this needs further pondering, and that is what we are going to do. From the second analysis, we can observe that the monthly financial drain resulting from incidents is also high for most months, except those that have comparatively lesser proportion of change-related incidents. This analysis gives an obvious message to IT teams that it might be time to stop allowing unplanned changes to occur and take a reactive approach to mitigate the incident impact, and instead follow a proactive procedure of planned change implementations. However, to completely curb the emergence of change-related incidents, IT teams need to understand why this number of incidents is high, even for planned or scheduled changes, and take necessary precautions to mitigate their impact. So, this unusual phenomenon of more incidents that are being triggered from scheduled or periodic changes might be due to multiple factors, including improper testing of changes pre-implementation or inaccurate records of relevant information regarding the change or other aspects related to change in the change management portal. Armed with these insights, IT teams can develop strategies to minimize incident spikes caused due to change implementations. With that, let's move on to the step 4 of our discussion today. This will be accelerating service resolutions with smarter request templates. So the previous analysis that we saw provided insights into how proactive monitoring can streamline service operations and improve service desk efficiency. Building on this, in the next section, we'll explore how proactive monitoring can optimize incident resolution, accelerate service restoration, and ultimately increase service availability and uptime. As enterprise IT landscape becomes increasingly complex as well as widespread, the request collection and resolution process also becomes more cumbersome. With an increasing number of requests flowing into the service desk on a daily basis, the burden on technicians grows, resulting in longer resolution times. Adding to this plight are the inefficiencies that are a common part of a standard service desk landscape, including piling up of mundane, repetitive requests that do not require dedicated technician attention. Also, endless back and forth exchanges between technicians and end users, which can eat up the time used for actual resolutions as well as frustrate the end users. And finally, improper routing of requests to the right levels. When evaluating the IT team's performance, these underlying inefficiencies are frequently overlooked. As a result, technicians often bear the brunt of missed SLAs, delayed SLA issue resolutions, recurring tickets, and user complaints. IT leaders often only identify these inefficiencies when they conduct occasional audits or when their SLAs take a hit consistently. But by that time, the technicians may already be burnt out from the ever-mounting ticket volumes and constant pressure to meet the SLAs. To avoid this and elevate technician productivity as well as reduce resolution times, you must proactively identify inefficiencies and areas for improvement within your current IT operations landscape. Doing so will allow you to fully leverage the potential of your IT service landscape and proactively mitigate ticket backlogs and SLA violations. If you observe the analysis that is projected on your screen, you can identify glaring inefficiencies in a standard service desk. Several service request categories still experience resolution times that breach the expected SLA agreements. This issue often stems from high number of back and forth communication between the technicians and the users, as clearly evidenced by the analysis that I am showing. So, incomplete or vague information collected in the initial request form necessitate that these interactions happen for further problem clarification, slowing down the entire resolution process. These inefficiencies primarily arise because IT teams may not fully appreciate the importance of enhancing current operations based on historical request data. Typically, IT teams tend to create generic service desk request templates without much context or customization, requiring users to manually fill in the details of their requests. However, users often have limited insights to what information is crucial for IT technicians to triage effectively and resolve issues on time. As a result, these generic self-service forms not only consume the user's time, but also leads to errors and incomplete submissions. So what's the solution here? So an effective solution to this problem is to leverage past requests or user data and contextualize your service desk portal and tailor it to the custom needs of your organization as well as your employees. IT teams can achieve this easily by implementing smarter request templates. So by smarter request template, it means that templates that are enabled with pre-filled problem fields and can have significantly more custom options that are pre-filled when the user enters the problem type. And this can significantly accelerate the resolutions. These fields provided with the users with a list of common incidents or requests to select from, ensuring that request collection is detailed and accurate. It also minimizes the need for follow-up questions and expedites the resolution process overall. IT managers can make use of this analysis to identify the most popular and frequent requests for which pre-filled problem fields can be configured. This analysis lists out the most common request categories that came into an organization's service desk over the past year. The comprehensive analysis was built using historic service desk data and contained 360-degree details on all aspects of the requests and incidents from creation to fulfillment, which is required for optimal resolution of the incident or request. So pre-filled problem fields that are built using these insights enables the remainder of the request template to be dynamically tailored based on the selected problem. This intelligent adaptation ensures that only relevant fields are presented to the user, making the request submission process more intuitive and less burdensome. For example, if a user selects network availability as a problem, additional fields relevant to the incident like the location or site of the issue, type of the connection, the common error message that is displayed, and the request creation level are automatically populated and dynamically generated. Context-specific detail collection similar to this further enhances the accuracy and completeness of the information provided by the user. So implementing such contextual request templates significantly reduces the average request resolution time and improves the resolution frequency across the organization. So as you can see, contextual service templates has its own advantage and it makes the life of an IT technician much more easier. But how do we assess its impact? That's why we have got this report for you. So this analysis, as you can see, shows a stark drop in resolution times after deploying smart request forms. Beyond accelerating resolutions, the contextual data that is collected from these smart forms empowers technicians with critical problem information, improving the resolution accuracy, thereby reducing the number of request reopens. This also results in greater efficiency, higher user satisfaction, and increased technician productivity as IT teams can handle higher volume of requests. Alright, so we have covered a lot of information today, and next we'll be moving on to the fifth step or fifth stage in the strategy that we are discussing today, which is curbing the wastage of critical IT resources by consistently tracking their usage patterns. So as I said, so far we have explored multiple strategies to prevent over-reliance on accidental discoveries to optimize IT operations. Let's build on that momentum, keep going, and examine how proactive monitoring can curb one of the most common as well as costly IT inefficiencies, which is resource wastage or underutilization. Organizations across the globe are prioritizing net zero IT ops as a critical part of their long-term sustainability goals. But to achieve this, IT managers must undergo a drastic strategic shift in how they deploy and consume their IT resources. Transitioning to net zero IT ops begins with implementing prudent resource utilization practices. This will curb inefficient asset management practice that can drain the operational budgets, silently depletes the purchase funds, and contributes to the negative environmental impacts of IT initiatives. A major source of such resource wastage in an organization's IT environment is the underutilized resources that continue to run even after their assigned purpose has ended. Without proper knowledge of such resources that are remaining idle, IT teams may continue to purchase similar resources and deploy them for other projects, which could have been easily accomplished at a lower cost by reallocating their unused resources, or even at a no cost. Such inefficiencies and resource wastage often go undetected for most of the year. IT teams often confront the consequences of this wastage during the year-end audit or budgeting process when the damage has already been done. Moreover, these unused active resources can continue to impact the budgets or the budget planning for the upcoming fiscal year, underscoring the need for a proactive asset management strategy. With AI-powered analytics, you can easily identify unused resources or assets, their costs, and their utilization, enabling you to configure timely alerts that promptly help you rework purchase plans and reduce asset or resource wastage. The analysis that is shown on your screen reveals the distribution of servers across various projects and compares server utilization for each project. We can configure anomaly-based alerts as we have seen in our previous analysis to facilitate timely notification that can catch underutilization and overutilization. We can clearly observe that for projects such as the industrial metaverse, resource utilization, the server utilization is way below the expected usage limits, despite them incurring substantial budget drain during server acquisition. Conversely, for projects like silicon design or even medtech, or consider the case of ADAS, the project exhibits server utilization exceeding the maximum limit of 90%, indicating overutilization in these avenues. And there is a need to add more servers here to prevent the onslaught of alarms and probable disruptions that are coming your way. This line of analysis empowers NOC leaders to easily identify resource utilization's inefficiencies across their IT operations landscape. Armed with this insight, they can implement strategies to reallocate underutilized resources to areas facing critical resource shortages. But these asset utilization inefficiencies that we are seeing here are not just limited to on-premise or hardware resources or on-premise environments. In fact, as more and more organizations adopt cloud solutions, inefficient practices have permeated to the cloud landscape as well. The extent of cloud resource wastage is actually significantly higher than in on-premise environments. A recent survey conducted by research from Everest Group revealed that 82% of organizations worldwide struggle with 10% of their cloud resource spends being wasted, with 68% experiencing more than 20% of wastage. Additionally, a research conducted by Park My Cloud found that the cloud resource wastage results in an annual business loss of over $14.1 billion for enterprises. So this data highlights a very concerning trend. Organizations often end up spending more on cloud resources than necessary. Inefficient cloud resource utilization leads to financial losses, indicating a need for better management and optimization strategies. The most common observed reason for such wastage of costly cloud resources include idle resources. So these are resources that remain idle for most of the year and are used only during peak traffic period, say a sale day or a holiday. But organizations continue to pay for them round the clock. The next one is abandoned resources, which are instances that were purchased for a planned project but later left unused once the project was scrapped, but the project team failed to notify the IT team, causing wastage of monthly fee for these instances. And the final one is over-provisioned resources. This situation arises when IT teams fail to accurately estimate the workload requirements and eventually procure more resources than what is required. Organizations can use the power of data to implement more prudent cloud FinOps practices and avoid such reckless and wasteful spending. The analysis that is shown on a screen showcases the trend of unused AWS instances over a 12-month time period and compares it to the recurring fee or monthly fee that is wasted on these instances. As you can see, there is a gradual month-on-month increase in unused recurring fees. Any month where the proportion of unused instances exceeds 30%, as you can see here, is an alarming situation that requires immediate attention. To manage this, we need to configure periodic alerts to notify resource instances whose usage falls above 30%, ensuring that cloud resource utilization remains within acceptable standards. This analysis therefore acts as a powerful tool to preemptively warn IT teams of potential impact of resource underutilization. You can then turn to a plethora of pre-built reports offered by Analytics Plus to analyze the different cloud utilization metrics and hone in on unused hybrid cloud resources. This line of analysis and these metrics aid in IT teams to promptly address their asset utilization inefficiencies, whether it's on-premise or cloud, and help them prevent unnecessary resource spends. Now let's move on to the final step of our discussion today, which is pinpointing periods of peak usage and fine-tuning resource allocation based on network traffic-based alerts. In our previous section, we explored the issue of resource underutilization. However, addressing resource-related inefficiencies won't be complete without tackling a closely related challenge, which is ineffective resource allocation and deployment. This will be the focus of our next section. In modern IT operations landscape, organizations are laser focused on optimizing costs and driving operational efficiency. This makes it imperative to monitor and curb any inefficiencies that cause wastage or underutilization of resources. However, in addition to monitoring resource utilization to detect underutilized services, you must clearly evaluate the resource requirements across a project's entire life cycle before reallocating them to address capacity overloads elsewhere. Before reallocating resources, NOC teams should analyze the future usage patterns and ensure sufficient capacity is available to handle peak traffic periods. This enables seamless operations throughout the service lifetime. Failing to account for future resource utilization needs can lead to disruptions and suboptimal performance down the line, undermining the very cost optimization goals that you were striving for. To understand this better, let's take the example of an enterprise payroll application. The application is deployed across all departments in an organization, but used sparsely for most periods of any month. The application is primarily used at the end of any month for payslip upload and review, or at the end of a financial year for year-end tax filing and more. This leads to much of the application pools created on the web server for this application going as waste during the remainder of the year or the month. In a bid to cut these costs, the IT team decides to reduce the number of application pools available for this application and even combine similar multiple applications with low usage and into a single shared pool. What happens next? Since the application has limited pools available, this approach can overload the resources such as CPU and memory during those peak usage periods. As a result, the payroll application may experience performance issues, including downtime, sluggishness, or encounter frequent errors during the month end. This can lead to frustration amongst users and negatively impact the overall user experience. The analysis on your screen shows the incoming traffic for an application over a month. As you can see that from the analysis that as the end of the month approaches, the application experiences a surge in traffic beyond expected limits. This causes network congestion, leading to higher downtimes, frequent faults, error rates, and increased support tickets for the application towards the end of each month. This scenario could have been easily avoided with careful monitoring and alerting based on network traffic. Let's explore this further. The analysis that is currently shown on your screen tracks the hourly trend in network traffic during the course of a day. We have set up two alert thresholds here. When incoming traffic exceeds the lower threshold, an alert is triggered to notify the NOC teams to create backup or fallback application pools. With these fallback application pools in place, IT teams can reroute the application or traffic if the active pools becomes overloaded due to rising traffic volume. When the traffic crosses the upper threshold, an alert is triggered to assign the application to newly created fallback pools. This is because the current pool resources can no longer handle the incoming traffic volume and is intended to fail, causing an inadvertent application downtime. By monitoring the network traffic of a payroll application consistently in a similar manner, you can receive alert notifications as usage begins to increase towards the end of each month. This early warning allows you to allocate additional resources and application pools before congestion occurs, thus preventing application slowdowns and reducing the number of downtime incidents, which is key for a vital IT operations landscape and a smoother user experience. So throughout the course of this session, we have seen how unified alerts and AI-powered proactive analytics can empower IT teams to move from a reactive to a proactive monitoring approach. By catching early signals of change and addressing issues before they escalate, IT and NOC teams can enhance operational efficiency, reduce costs, and provide better user experiences. Implementing a proactive monitoring approach with the help of advanced analytics not only saves resources, but also builds a resilient IT infrastructure capable of meeting the challenges of today's dynamic IT environments. Before we conclude today's topic, let me quickly summarize the 6 proactive monitoring strategies for streamlined and efficient IT operations. First one that we discussed in our session today was about thwarting the impending network traffic congestion. By pinpointing periods of peak traffic and identifying both traffic, NOC teams can prevent network congestion. Proactive monitoring network traffic and timely responses to alerts can ensure optimal network performance and also reduce network downtime, thereby enhancing end-user satisfaction. The second approach or strategy that we discussed was to reduce security incidents and fortify your IT security by catching anomalous data transfers. Monitoring unplanned data transfer peaks is crucial because it helps identify unusual activities or malicious actors that might signify potential security threats. By discerning the acceptable data transfer rates, you can quickly identify and respond to such anomalous traffic flows. And the third step that we discussed today is to proactively minimize service incident spikes by systematically analyzing change-related implementations. Minimizing incident spikes related to change implementation requires a systematic approach. Understanding the relationship between changes and incidents, drilling down into specific change types and other aspects of change-related incidents is key to reducing the risk of major incidents resulting from change implementations and maintaining a resilient IT service landscape. So the fourth strategy that we discussed today was accelerating service resolution with smarter request templates. Implementing smarter request templates with pre-filled problem fields is a straightforward yet highly effective strategy to accelerate resolutions in IT service desks. By reducing the number of to and fro interactions between technicians and the end user, dynamically adapting the remainder of the templates and collecting detailed relevant information, IT teams can significantly improve their service efficiency and also enhance user satisfaction. Moving on to the fifth strategy, which is curbing the wastage of critical IT resources. Closely monitoring resource utilization and reallocating underutilized resources is crucial to prevent wasteful spending. However, it's just as important to carefully consider these resource requirements throughout an entire application service life cycle. This helps avoid disruptions, maintain optimal performance, prevent application slowdowns, and reduce the downtime incidents. And the final approach or strategy we looked at is fine-tuning resource allocation with network traffic-based alerts. Leveraging network traffic-based alerts to optimize application resource utilization, accurately evaluate application requirements, and account for future application needs is an effective way to optimize your IT resource utilization. This helps prevent application downtime, optimize application performance, and even deliver a seamless user experience. Alright, we covered a lot of information today, and the reports that we covered during this webinar were built using Analytics Plus, Manage Engine's AI-powered IT analytics solution, and using data from tools and IT applications spanning across various IT modules. Before we move on to the Q&A, let me just quickly walk you through what you can stand to gain from Analytics Plus. Beyond offering comprehensive analytic capabilities, Analytics Plus provides out-of-the-box integrations with several IT applications. This includes various Manage Engine applications like Op Manager, Service Desk Plus, Endpoint Central, Application Manager, Site 24/7, Mobile Device Manager Plus, PAM 360, to name a few. The Advanced Analytics platform also offers pre-built analytics for various third-party IT applications like Jira Software, ServiceNow, Freshdesk, and more. The primary benefits of these out-of-the-box integration lies in the fact that they can be configured in minutes, post which you can access 300 plus pre-built reports and dashboards that are generated. So if you would like to attain a hands-on experience and apply these detailed analysis over your company's data, all you need to do is sign up or download the Analytics Plus free trial. This helps you set up the integration, and therefore you can access the insightful reports and dashboards offered by Analytics Plus. In addition to offering out-of-the-box insights for major IT applications, Analytics Plus continuously strives to facilitate self-service on every level of its platform. A key player that facilitates this is our AI-driven analytics assistant, Zia. If you're just getting started with analytics and find BI tools to be daunting, well, Zia is your new best friend. All you have to do is strike up a conversation with Zia, either via text or via voice, and Zia will automatically generate these insights required to further your analytics journey. While this removes the task of having to build a report yourself, understanding and breaking down the information displayed in a visualization can take up a lot of time as well. Well, we've got you covered even then. With Zia Insights, you can attain narrative detailed interpretations of your analysis at the mere click of a button. This feature proves beneficial, especially in cases where immediate action is required in putting out fires in your organization. You can leverage Zia's conversational prowess to dig deeper into your data and uncover hidden information as well as perform root cause analysis. You can also leverage our powerful forecasting engine to foresee future trends and modify your business and IT strategies accordingly. Another beneficial and handy feature of Analytics Plus is scenario analysis functionality. Using what-if analysis, you can execute powerful scenario analysis over your reports to visualize various outcomes based on a deciding factor. By understanding the business impact of when the change occurs ahead of time, you can adjust your strategies and achieve business objectives with ease. You can also set up alerts for your reports and get notified via multiple channels, including in-app alerts, email, and more. This saves you a lot of trouble of having to recheck your reports manually every time to avoid missing out on business critical changes. It's also beneficial in notifying you of any suspicious or malicious activities that occur within your IT environment. Alright, so that was a brief view of Analytics Plus. Are you eager to explore more and elevate your IT analytics journey with Analytics Plus? You can get started right away. Scan the QR code that is currently shown on your screens to access a 15-day exclusive free trial of Analytics Plus. With that, I think I have time for a quick Q&A session. Let me pick up a couple of your questions. So here's the first question. In order to gain comprehensive insights and perform proactive monitoring on my organization as demonstrated, I may need to aggregate data from various IT monitoring applications we use. So is there a streamlined way to set up unified analytics across my entire IT environment? Thank you for your question. This is actually a genuine concern faced by a lot of IT teams across organizations. Fortunately, Analytics Plus provides a solution. With just a simple integration, you can easily bring your data from multiple IT applications into Analytics Plus. So this allows you to perform comprehensive analytics and monitoring of your entire IT landscape. Once integrated, Analytics Plus will correlate the data and generate pre-built blended reports as well as dashboards based on that blended data. And all of this can be configured within a matter of few minutes. Okay, I hope I answered your question. So here's the second question, and it's an interesting one. So one attendee asks, in the past, configuring preset thresholds to set up alerts has been a time-consuming and a labor-intensive process for us. The automated anomaly-based alerts that you mentioned seem like a promising alternative. Could you please elaborate and provide more details about how anomaly-based alerts work? For sure. So identifying data outliers serves as an early warning system, enabling IT leaders to quickly detect and address potential breaches and failures. So with Analytics Plus' robust anomaly detection feature, this makes it easy to flag outliers in your IT data or any IT metrics. You can now generate visual reports that highlight these anomalous data points, which in turn allows you to investigate and take appropriate action. So Analytics Plus also leverages some of the advanced machine learning algorithms like robust principal component analysis or RPCA and other statistical models to identify these outliers automatically. This highly customizable feature adapts to the unique distribution of your data, ensuring accurate and reliable outlier detection. I hope I was able to properly answer your query, and thank you for asking that. Actually, anomaly detection is the future of alerts and automated alert creation. So that brings us to the end of this Q&A session. So that's all we have time for today. As I had already mentioned, if you have any remaining questions, concerns, and queries about today's session or about Analytics Plus in general, please feel free to email me at the email address that is showing on your screens now. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.